All right, let's get started. Big thanks to the butts and seats. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the people on Zoom. Thank you for being here also. And of course, all you lovelies on YouTube after the fact. This is the Toxins in Beauty Care presentation. This is the first in a 4-part series where we are going over toxic things that we find in everyday circumstances. In this one, we're talking about beauty care. What I want to do, here's a rough outline, is go over why we need to talk about beauty care toxins. Then I want to identify some of them and help you understand why you want to identify these toxins. And then we're going to go over some brands that we like that make some products that you're going to use pretty much every day of your life so that you have those resources. First, in this handout, there's a list I put on here of countries with regulations specific to beauty care products. Anybody want to tell me what the problem with this list is?
USA isn't
You got it. There's no USA. So respect to the whole world. There's quite a few countries on here. There are plenty of countries that aren't on here. The big reason I'm presenting on this today is because the country I live in, where my clients live, it's not on this list. Argentina, Australia, Austria, Belgium. Look, it's a really long list all the way to Vietnam. They have regulations specific to beauty care products. That's really important. No category of consumer products is subject to less government oversight than cosmetics and other personal care products. Many of the chemicals and contaminants in beauty care products pose little risk, while exposure to some has been linked to serious health problems. So it's not all doom and gloom. Not every chemical in every beauty care product is a problem. Since 2009, 595 cosmetic manufacturers have reported using 88 chemicals in more than 73,000 products that have been linked to cancer, birth defects, or reproductive harm. Now, as I start to say things like this that feel like gotcha moments or like shock value moments, we have a list here of the references of all the things that I read putting together this presentation. If anybody wants a copy, just let us know. It's not fun to read, but it's really good info.
Mm-hmm.
So as you hear me say things like 595 companies used 88 chemicals in 73,000 products that have been linked to major problems, there's a reference for that. Here are some of the 88 chemicals. Formaldehyde, it's one of them we're going to talk about more in a little bit. Oh, is it on there? No, it's not. Okay. Well, we'll talk about it. Paraformaldehyde, it's just a type of formaldehyde. Methylene glycol, another form of formaldehyde. Mercury, different types of phthalates, that's up here on the board. Isobutyl and isopropyl paragons, and PFAs. And if you've ever looked at the word that PFA stands for, you probably understand why I'm not even going to try to say it. All of these toxic chemicals that I just listed have been banned by the European Union and many other nations. Many have been slated for removal from store brands from major US retailers like Target, Rite Aid, Walgreens, and CVS. So this isn't hooey-fooey. This isn't the kind of thing, is this really that big a deal? If companies the size of Target and Walgreens, etc., are pulling these things from their shelves, it's a big deal. Some of the chemicals do not have to be disclosed on the package. This is because they are components of fragrance. Before we go further, we just presented on women's health, and a big portion of that presentation was all about fragrance. This is another example of where fragrance can be a big problem. The fragrance makes the chemical labeling exempt from the requirements of the government. There are two phthalates, dibutyl phthalate and diethylhexyl phthalate. They may be included in combinations of chemicals disclosed as fragrance, but not disclosed as the individual chemicals. The law all around it, the regulation all around it is, so long as it's below a certain percentage of the total product, it doesn't have to be labeled. The problem with that is it takes an incredibly small amount of these chemicals to do us harm in some circumstances. Dibutyl phthalate, one of the things that's commonly found in fragrances, is an endocrine disruptor. So that means the system in your body that regulates all your hormones. It messes with that. It harms male reproductive system development, and it can cause early puberty in boys. It has also been classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as possibly carcinogenic. So for all those reasons, I'd love to see that never in a product again. Mm-hmm. The cosmetics industry has grown dramatically since 1938, when Congress last enacted cosmetics legislation. Specifically, it was called the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and that was about 90 years ago. At that time, the cosmetics industry reported approximately $1 billion in sales annually. In 2016, that same industry reported more than $169 billion in sales. Pretty big swing, yeah? Yet only 2 pages of the 829-page Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act actually governs cosmetics. What a small percentage of the overall. Those provisions give the Food and Drug Administration limited authority to regulate chemicals that pose chronic risks. Let's get specific about what the FDA is allowing with cosmetics compared to, let's say, food or medical devices. Congress has since 2016, the FDA power to ensure that food additives, color additives, and pesticides pose no harm from repeat exposures. Congress has not given the agency the same authority to regulate chronic risks posed by chemicals in cosmetics. Instead, the FDA largely relies on personal care product industry to regulate itself. Well, that sounds safe. I don't see that going sideways at all. Hey, you're working with potentially dangerous chemicals. We don't need to check in on you. You would tell us if something went wrong, right? It wouldn't potentially cost you $169 billion. See where I'm going? Mm-hmm. Cosmetic chemicals enter the body via the skin, inhalation. Yeah, that's right. You're breathing that stuff in while you're putting it on. And pose the same risks as food chemicals, because they are inside of us, just like food chemicals. In addition to the risks posed by intentionally added ingredients, cosmetics can be contaminated with heavy metals, including arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, and nickel. It comes up on the hair tissue mineral analysis that we do here, where someone will have one of those heavy metals at an unexpectedly high level. Let's say they are not a welder, they don't work with engines that run on petroleum, they've never been a miner, but their makeup is a potential source of all of those heavy metals that we see on their analyses. Each day, American women use an average of 12 personal care products that contain 168 different chemicals. Doesn't that feel like a lot? Am I the only one who thinks that? No? Okay, good. It feels like a lot. And men use an average of 6 personal care products that contain 85 different chemicals. Many of these products are applied directly to the skin, the body's largest organ, where ingredients can be absorbed directly into the bloodstream. Some chemicals used in personal care products pose risks at very low doses. This is the part I was referencing when we were talking about fragrances a few minutes ago. Research shows that endocrine disrupting or hormone disrupting chemicals, such as parabens and phthalates, may pose the greatest risk during prenatal and early postnatal, or right after the kid comes out, development, when organ and neurological systems are forming in that baby's body. Endocrine disruptors are known to affect how women's bodies use estrogen, and thus have been linked to breast cancer. Some forms of breast cancer are driven by estrogen. So anytime we're using a chemical that would promote that or help drive estrogen levels, it's potentially worsening all things related to that type of breast cancer. Mm-hmm. Personal care product companies do not have to register with the FDA. Does that seem weird? Provide the FDA with an ingredient statement. That seems weird. Can you imagine if we didn't have to disclose what was in our food? Adopt good manufacturing practices. That means they care about not just what's in the product, but how they get those things in the product, how they get them together. They don't have to report adverse events to the FDA. It seems dangerous because we're rubbing this stuff on our skin and breathing it in. And they don't have to provide the FDA with access to safety records. Oh my goodness. They don't have to tell them what's in it. They don't have to tell them if something goes wrong because of what's in it. This all seems very dangerous. Imagine if automobile manufacturers had the same kind of thing. We don't have to prove our car is safe, and if it isn't safe, we don't have to tell you. I'd be riding my bike more often. The FDA does not have the power to suspend registration or order recalls when products pose a risk of serious adverse health consequences or death. Manufacturers of food, drugs, and medical devices must register with the FDA, maintain and give the FDA access to records, and report adverse events. That is so different. Now watch what happens after this part. So these food, drug, and device companies have to report to the FDA, provide them access to everything. If food, drug, or devices are unsafe, the FDA can then suspend production. If unsafe food or devices reaches the market, the FDA can order a recall and take legal action against those who do not recall their products. Boy, is that different than no oversight. That is totally different. With food and medical devices and drugs, the FDA can stop production of it, can get it off the shelves, and can fine companies if they don't adhere to that. But they cannot do that with cosmetics. Of more than 10,000 chemicals used to formulate cosmetics, just 11 have ever been banned or restricted by the FDA. Some things have already been banned by the European Union. Parabens, phthalates, mercury, formaldehyde, and many PFAs. So before we go into ingredients you should know, I just want to point out another statistic that I was tempted to add into this handout, but I feel like it added like a whole other section to the presentation, was how much international makeup sales have gone up in the last few years. There are more and more consumers in the United States of America who are looking to manufacturers outside of America because they want more regulation in their cosmetics products. My understanding is the company L'Oreal produces some of their things in France where there's different regulations, and that L'Oreal has seen quite big growth in terms of US sales because people are looking for cleaner beauty care. And they found that L'Oreal, that's made in France, does that. Questions coming to mind? All right, then we push forward. First ingredient I really want you to be familiar with. I want you to be able to identify this one easily. Parabens. It's not always going to just say paraben. I listed a bunch of things on this handout. Methylparaben, ethylparaben, propylparaben, butylparaben. There's quite a few different names for parabens. It's denoting what chemicals are included with the paraben. It's not them trying to hide parabens behind a prefix. It's just giving us more info about it. But as soon as we see a word end with paraben, we go, oh, you know what? That's one of those that's been linked to that hormone disruption. I'm going to skip this product. You're going to see parabens show up in body wash, shampoo, lotions, toothpastes, in a bunch of different spots. It is a preservative, and it's inexpensive. It's really cheap. So it's used pretty regularly by a lot of companies. The next ingredient looks like a tough word to say, phthalates. You're going to find these in lotions, deodorants, nail polish, and some lip balms. Oh my goodness. I have a 10-year-old daughter. It is very popular to wear lip balm right now at her school. And I think about all those companies making junky lip balms. Oh my goodness. Those are little humans. They are tiny. They are 9 and 10 years old. Those phthalates are another one of the hormone disrupting chemicals. So I really don't like the idea of young women especially, and also young men, having these chemicals on their body when they're going through puberty. That's not a good time to futz with hormones. Not that any other time would be a good time. As I said that, I was like, "Was that? That's kind of silly." Yeah, okay. Next one I want to talk about, benzoyl peroxide. This is most common, very common prescription to clear up acne. There's a company whose name I won't say because I wouldn't be surprised if they have AI searching content creators to call them out. But what this product does, what this ingredient does, is it kills the bacteria on our skin, which we know there is good bacteria on our skin. It's not all bad stuff. And it reduces oil production. The downside is your skin uses oil and uses bacteria to function optimally. So we're throwing out the baby with the bathwater kind of situation. Sure, we're going to hurt some of the bad bacteria that's on our skin, but we're also going to hurt the good oil and the good bacteria that's on our skin when we use benzoyl peroxide. It works basically like bleach, and if this product happens to spill on your towels or clothes, they can change your color, they can change the color of the towel or the clothing over time. I've had clients bring in towels after using these products where they said they were just wiping their face off and they blotted the towel on their face. And I was raised Catholic, I should really know this, but the story that somebody threw Jesus a rag when he was carrying the crucifix. And he wiped the mud and the blood off of his face, and like the face of Jesus was left on the rag. It was like that with bleach on this towel. You could see where the person's eyes were. Yeah, it looked like a mask had been stained or bleached into the towel. Really creepy. And that client had just used a company that is known for using benzoyl peroxide in their skin clearing products. Naturally, our skin's pH should be about 4.5 or 5.5, so slightly acidic, but benzoyl peroxide is alkalinizing. So what's going to end up happening when we use benzoyl peroxide is we're hurting the good bacteria and the good oils that are naturally in our skin, and our skin is going to have to fight to regain its pH balance. It's going to want to be more acidic. It's going to cost us certain minerals, zinc being one of them. It's going to mess with our skin, especially if we don't use it regularly, because the good bacteria that's on our skin is one of the things our body uses to regulate the bad bacteria on our skin. So if we take that away, a little bit of a dependency can form on a benzoyl peroxide containing product. Next one is mineral oil. It's a byproduct from crude oil. Yep, the same stuff they make gasoline and asphalt out of. Manufacturing. It's costly to dispose of this, so oil companies are highly incentivized to find a use for it. Good news, they found one. Skincare companies can obtain mineral oil cheaply and use it as a humectant. That means it draws water to the skin. There's all sorts of things that can do that. If you've ever seen my presentation on internal sun protection, we use a combination of vitamin F and calcium lactate. Those two in combination are also a humectant. So it's not that humectants are bad. It's when you make humectants out of crude oil, that's when they're bad. Mineral oil has a long shelf life because it never expires. Human skin is not designed to absorb synthetic mineral oil very well. It's comedogenic. That means it clogs your pores. So it's a common ingredient because it's inexpensive and it behaves like an oil. It's going to act like a lubricant. It's going to make everything slippery when you put it on. It's going to help it spread out evenly. I've heard people say the feel of this product is nice. It's one of those things, okay? Texture. But it clogs your pores. It's hurting the skin. So it goes on great, and it feels nice when it's going on, but then it's hurting you. Next one. Look at this word. Methyl isothiazolinone.
Yay, you did it.
Thank you. I absolutely practiced that. That was a real thing that This stuff is so gross. It's commonly found in rinse-off products, shampoo, conditioner, hair color, body wash, laundry detergent, liquid hand soap, bubble bath, and dishwashing soaps. So things that we are going to apply with the intent of removing them. They have a short-term action just when we're washing the dish, just when we're shampooing our hair. They don't stay on, so not hairsprays, lotions.
Okay.
Man, it comes with a bunch of different names that are in the handout here. 2-methyl, 3,2-H, isothiazolinone. I don't expect people to know what these are. So we have them in the handout here. So when you are going to the store And you're like, you know what? I need a new shampoo, lotion, lip balm, deodorant, whatever. I encourage you to take this handout, or at least jot a few notes from it. I don't think you're going to want to write the word. We have it on here 5 times in the handout. It saves you writing variations of this word 5 times. But you want to have this list with you and pick up those products. Would you grab a bunch of Nicole stuff like lotion and lip balm?
Sure.
A couple of things. I want you to get comfortable with grabbing products off the shelf and being emotionally neutral about it. It doesn't matter how cool it looks. Thank you, Two Boots.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how cool it looks. It doesn't matter how slick the ad campaign is or how beautifully muscular and toned the model, be it male or female, is for the advertisement. Okay, I want you to pick it up and flip it over and look at the ingredient part. And it should read like this. Here's a lotion that we carry. It's locally made.
That's a good one,
That's great too. That's a good example. Thank
Yeah.
you. We need to order more of these. This is our last one, isn't it?
Eats. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. We got to get more. Back to the lotion. Here's your ingredients. Distilled water, aloe vera, wax, coconut oil, shea butter, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, vitamin E oil, chamomile, green tea, Optifen Plus, which is an antioxidant, and pure essential oils of eucalyptus and spearmint. Not a piece of junk in it, okay? We want to see that when we're reading labels. Hey, I can say all those words. I know what coconut oil is. I know what shea butter is. By the way, when you're looking for products that hydrate, shea butter is one of the thickest products you can have in there. Coconut oil is a very good lubricant. It gets it to apply evenly. So look for both of those ingredients. They are safe. Here's the foaming face wash that we carry here.
I love that stuff.
I've only heard good things.
Mm-hmm.
The ingredients. All right, African black soap with shea butter, aloe vera gel, distilled water, witch hazel, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, chamomile, vitamin E oil, Optifen again, and essential oils. Not a piece of junk in it. And it foams when you pump it. It's pretty cool. A local lady named Nicole makes that. She makes a lot of really good stuff. And it's nice to have beauty care stuff, skincare stuff, where we can directly contact the creator of it. If we have a concern about the product, we're not just sending an email off to an entity. It's Nicole. I can ask Nicole questions. And then here's the lip balm we carry. Beeswax, avocado oil, coconut oil, shea butter, castor seed oil, vitamin E oil, and then essential oils of eucalyptus and spearmint. That's just to make it smell like something. We carry an unscented. We carry a couple of different scents. There are quite a few different products that Nicole makes that we recommend to our clients, like shampoos and lotions, face wash. She also makes bug sprays. She makes after sun. She makes a foot balm, a magnesium cream. If you're looking to move into more natural beauty care, reach out to us. Let us know which products you're looking for. We'll tell you what Nicole makes. We'll get you set up with them.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be handing this out, I think, a lot. This is the list of different beauty care products and the companies that make them. These are the ones that we don't just make this list. We make this list and we review it regularly. Because we know that a lot of companies get bought out. They get a new owner that is interested in profit, not quality. They want the logo. They want to grab I recognize that. And then they start to typically, very slowly decrease the quality of those products in the hopes that people won't notice. My comparison for this, I didn't eat a Dorito for a decade. But when I was a kid, oh man, I ate a lot of Doritos. That was my chip of choice, Cool Ranch. When I was a kid, it was called Cool Ranch. Now it's called Cooler Ranch. Or the last time I had one, maybe it's Coolest Ranch now? I don't know. Anyways, used to be called Cool Ranch. Oh my goodness, I ate a lot of them. Didn't have one for 10 years because in college I got serious about my health. And I was out and about. I was like, you know what I haven't had in a while? What a treat. I'm going to have it. I can't tell you how different it tasted.
Oh.
And all I can think is, most consumers of Doritos don't go 10 years between bags. So if you slowly change the flavor of a product, the regular consumers are not going to notice. I had a decade span without it, So it was very apparent to me.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of companies will change what they put in their beauty care product after they buy out the company, and they'll do it slowly, and they won't mention it. They don't want to draw attention to it. They just want the sales.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always shoot us an email. That's why our email is always on camera during every presentation in the classroom here. We'll send you this list. It's everything from baby wipes, bar soap, liquid soap, cotton swabs, toilet paper, toothpaste, all sorts of stuff. Reach out to us. We'll send everybody home with a copy. What else do I have up here? Oh yeah, the questions. All right, Lori, I know you were paying attention.
Oh, gee.
Who isn't regulating the toxins in beauty care products?
The FDA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a problem.
Wow.
What types of products?
Cosmetic problem. Products.
Which means all sorts, right?
Yeah.
Lotions, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner.
Yep.
How many harmful chemicals?
Ooh.
Thousands.
70 something or?
Yeah, there were 88 in that report.
Yeah, 73. Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of numbers here.
Yep. There were 88 in that specific report.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the 10,000 chemicals used to formulate cosmetics, and again, not all of them are bad, only 11 have ever been restricted or banned.
Yeah,
That ratio doesn't seem right.
No, it doesn't.
11 out of 10,000? We know that there's at least 88 harmful chemicals because we've seen multiple countries around the world ban that common list of chemicals for cosmetics. All right, that's what I had for you today. What questions are coming to mind? Including our Zoomers. If you have a question, just holler it out. I got the speakers turned up. All right, you wonderful humans. We're hanging out. We're seeing some clients today. These second Saturday of the month presentations, we have time afterwards to check in with a couple of clients, get some consults going. So in case anybody is ever looking for a consult on a Saturday, hey, good news, once a month we're in here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. See you soon.